November, large drones spotted in the sky at night over central and northern New Jersey are getting the attention of government officials. New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew on Wednesday claimed that one of America's enemies is responsible for these mysterious sightings.
I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorified hobbyist or hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable. They don't have the technology. But let's pretend that's possible. The third possibility was somebody, an adversarial country, doing this. Know that Iran made a deal with China to purchase drones, motherships, and technology in order to go forward. The sources I have are good. They can't reveal who they are because they are speaking to me in confidentiality. These drones should be shot down.
The Pentagon has rejected the Congressman's claims.
So aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but at no point were our installations threatened when this activity was occurring. These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
State and local officials convened a closed-door meeting on Wednesday at New Jersey State Police Headquarters. Montvale, New Jersey Mayor Mike Casale, who attended the meeting, said, quote, "At this time, according to the FBI, there are no known specific or credible threats related to these sightings." That's per a DHS handout. New Jersey Assemblywoman Dawn Fantasia wrote on X, quote, "There have been reports ranging from 4 to 180 sightings per night. The drones operate in a coordinated manner and not identified as hobbyist drones or related to DHS."
New Jersey State Senator John Bramnick on Fox and Friends called for a limited state of emergency. Let's watch.
Well, it's unlikely we get more information. All of these drones should be grounded until we know where they're coming from and what their purpose is. The reason I call for a limited state of emergency is we do that in a snowstorm the day before the snow. Here's a situation where people are worried about drones flying over their houses, flying over military bases, and there seems to be no answer. So my concern is twofold. One, if the government doesn't know, that's pretty scary. And if they do know and there's no transparency, that might be worse.
This is pretty wild.
It's pretty wild and pretty weird. But
yeah, I'm not satisfied at all by the suggestion that it's Iran. Does Iran have the capability to do that?
Doesn't seem to be.
Iran can't even land actual missiles in Israel when they fight them. They can't keep their leader safe from helicopter crashes, although I take it helicopters are a lot more dangerous than people might be led to believe. So why are they just putting drones over New Jersey? It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right.
Although that representative, Jeff Van Drew, said he had some intelligence suggesting that. Now the Pentagon denies that utterly, but if I'm taking that, if I recall what that spokesperson just said, she did say that they believe it is a foreign adversary, but not Iran.
I'm not
foreign group.
I'm not sure.
What does that mean?
There's so much that is opaque about this. The Pentagon pushed very hard back against the Iran thing, not only in general terms, but the congressman there used this phrase about a mothership that he had somehow heard was off the east coast from which these drones are being launched. The Pentagon says that's absolutely untrue. There is not some Iranian ship, off the coast of Jersey from which drones are being launched. I do think it is very bizarre. I think everyone agrees it's really bizarre.
It must have some explanation.
There must be. Somebody is flying these drones. The places over which they have been flown includes Bedminster, President-elect Trump's New Jersey estate, also a naval weapons station, a huge reservoir in New Jersey. So it's not really acceptable that somebody can be flying large numbers of drones over locations of that degree of sensitivity, and there's just a sort of shoulder shrug about it?
Well, there's certainly going to be speculation that the shoulder shrug is because it is in fact U.S. military technology, and so we're not particularly worried because this is our stuff, and so there's going to be surveillance and spying concerns like are we testing out the ability to do mass surveillance of the population? Is it that kind of thing? You know, if civilians shoot them down, well then the American government's going to recognize and remember real fast that they're ours. To be clear, I have no evidence or necessarily to suggest that they are ours, except that there's no other explanation. If it's not a foreign adversary, although they kind of try, and I do not trust, by the way, the Pentagon says, oh yes, some foreign adversary. We should not take that at face value whatsoever.
I'm all in favor of skepticism generally, and I'm skeptical of lots of government claims overall. I do think that it is unlikely that there is an Iranian mothership off the coast of New Jersey that the Pentagon is denying is there.
And I'm simply not in a position to evaluate. The hobbyist explanation is not at all crazy, and in cases like, there are cases like this where we're confused, where it's just some guy doing something. The drone technology is getting very sophisticated, even for what we're calling hobbyists or amateurs, to do a science project or something and do something really impressive. That is now happening. So it could be something like that, although then specifically flying over these places suggests, why would you do that? I don't know. Well,
yeah. There is also a question in relation to what should be done about them, even if we don't know their source. And there is a legitimate difficulty about shooting down drones because, of course, you can't necessarily control where they land, and if they crash, and they're heavy, and if they crash through the roof of somebody's house and cause injury or worse, then that would obviously be a disaster in and of itself. But it does raise the question about, well, what can be done, and can we capture them in some way? I don't know. I don't know enough about anti-drone technology, which I assume is to some level.
Scoop them up in a little net. You have
exactly.
A drone with a net.
Just bring a little plane with a net around it.
Pokemon ball at it.
Cartoon style, and just catch them in the net and take them to a safer location. I don't know what you do though.
Well, this will not be the last time we discuss the drones.
The mystery
on the show,
drones.
I would guess.
New Jersey is full of surprises.
Yeah, a lot of jokes on social media about the surveilling of my people, my culture, Italian Americans.
There you go.
Not that I'm New Jersey connected specifically, but the Tony Soprano being spied on.
Well, the New Jersey Riviera was Italian Americans and Irish Americans, so our common ground there.
Yeah, so. We're walking here. Lots more to come on Rising. Stay tuned.